My name is Clayton Kramer. I'm an attorney here at Deacon Sini McDonald Yetman and Lacey in Tucson. I graduated from the U of A with a degree in Spanish in 2013 and from law school at the U of A in 2016. My current position, I work as a litigator, a civil litigator, as well as I practice in the areas of government and school law. We can handle anything from advising, school clients on employment matters all the way up to disputes between other parties that end up in court. During my undergrad, I took a course in translation and interpretation that was focused primarily on the legal field. And I became interested just kind of in the judicial process and how that works, and found, just from talking to friends and family that attorneys are, at the core, a lot of the times problem solvers. And I think that that's what attracted me to the legal field. In terms of what type of individuals do well, I would say that two big skills jump out. One being an effective communicator, and the other, being able to solve problems. So I don't particularly use my Spanish degree a whole lot. There's some skills that I learned in that degree that I think are helpful. Primarily the ability to pay attention to detail and choose the right words for the right moment, are important skills that I learned in the Spanish degree. But since I went to law school, I have not used it a lot, I guess. My law degree I obviously use on a pretty regular basis. The U of A prepared me very well for the activities I have to do on a daily basis in my field. I guess most people, when they think of lawyers, think of the courtroom dramas and all that type of stuff. There is certainly some of that goes into being an attorney. It's an amazing experience to stand up in front of a jury and present your client's case. The public perception maybe doesn't capture is the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes, the amount of time that's spent reviewing documents, looking at exhibits, advising clients of the risks and rewards for a particular strategy in a given case. So there is a lot of behind the scenes work that's not quite as glamorous. Several hours of my day, if not the majority of them, are spent behind a computer screen, writing and reading. I'd say a good place to start is just if you know anybody who's a friend or family or somebody you can contact through the alumni connections at the U of A, to just shadow what an attorney does on a daily basis. That's a good opportunity to learn what all goes into being a practicing attorney. Another, piece of advice would be you can go down to your local courthouse, and, COVID has made this a bit more difficult, but court proceedings are open to the public, and you can just go sit and watch what a docket day looks like, what the judges and attorneys are doing when they're in court on a daily basis. And some of those proceedings are even available online now, which is helpful. U of A was great, particularly in law school, with having adjunct professors that were out, members of the legal community here in Tucson, which is very small in comparison to some other areas. You get to know members of the legal community that are accomplished and kind of hear about their career paths. And then as well as through internships and externships and clinical experience at the U of A Law School, I was able to meet a lot of members of the legal community and get an idea of what types of jobs were out there, what type of law I would like to practice, what it takes to be a successful practitioner in the areas of practice that I was interested in. And you see, as time goes on, as a professional, you learn that you run into the same individuals over and over and over again. It's just a small world. And so having those relationships going into trying to find your first job or, make a career move is incredibly valuable. I know that my first job, I wanted to work for an agency out of state, and I didn't know anybody that worked there. And so I talked to somebody at the law school and said, hey, do we have any alumni that are working at that agency? And they set me up with somebody. I got the opportunity to sit down with him and just chat and say, hey, what was your interview process like? What's the hiring timeline look like? And he was able to answer all of those questions, as well as, what does it take to be a successful practitioner in that area?